they, they didn't know.
How many people lived at the home, and were there any other Jews that you knew about?
Not in the home where I occupied the room, but they took in a Jewish woman, and she was in the infirmary, which was a little bit further. And it's interesting, she was placed on the second floor in a room which was exactly above the Germans who took already that part of the building. But they did not allow me to see her or her to see me because the danger was so great. But what I found out, and it warmed my heart, was that there were five children, Jewish children, in the orphanage. And the Raphael, she told me, who they are, and she brought them to me. We played a little. It was a Dr. and Mrs. Diamond, Carl Diamond, who placed the children with them, and they themselves were hiding in a hospital. He was a doctor, medical doctor, were hiding in another city in central Slovakia. It was not too far, but still like 3 hours by train. And later on, they took in from Nowe Mesto nad Váhom, and that was a close by city, a bigger city, Rózsika Fuchs. It was a 10-year-old girl, and she looked Jewish, so she should have attended school, but they were afraid to send her to school, so they got from a doctor who knew about their business and a certificate that she is not allowed to attend school for some medical reason. So she was also in that orphanage. And then they brought in a 2-year-old boy who somebody found. It was a teacher, a Hamlet teacher. She found them half frozen in the mountains, like in a cave. And the parents hid at this teacher, who was a sister to Sister Marta, who waited for me at the train. And everything was done in such secrecy. See, only after the war, I met the parents when they came to pick up the child. By then he was 2 years old. They gave him a nice haircut, and they gave him presents, a nice tablecloth with the embroidered Magen Dovid for the parents.
Did you have any scares while you were there? Did anybody try to identify you?
Well, as I said, they asked Paula to bring me some papers, and she did, maybe in 2 weeks' time. She got it, it was a birth certificate, and she gave it to Margitka, who was the secretary for Raphael. And she just showed it to me, and I didn't know she took it back, and she went to the police to register, and I did not memorize, I just knew the place, but I didn't know my name or when I was born. And when she came to the police, he put the hand on it, on the paper. He said, let her come and register herself. So panic broke out. How will I go there? I don't know my name. I tried to remember Yakolova and there was Kabolova. And I just knew the place. And I made out my testament. I told Rafayova that I have a brother in Minneapolis. I gave her the names, I gave her the address and so on. And she knelt down and she prayed the whole time in her quarters. And I came to my room and Martha was there, Sister Martha, and she said, I'm going with you. I could not believe her courage, you know. I said, you have some courage. I said, you are so good. She said, God is good. And so we went there, and she kept peeking, you know, she like almost sat on the desk to try to make out the name. He started by asking me, where are you from? I said, from Nova Banja. He said, how interesting. I'm also from Nova Banja. Where did you live? And I said, I did quick thinking. I said, on Hlinka place. Hlinka was the fascist leader in Slovakia. He was a prelate. He was really chosen by the Pope as a cardinal, but he died. And I knew in every place they will have a Hlinka place. So I said, Hlinka. He said, well, I have to ask all these questions because, you know, there are all kind of people coming here. And meanwhile, she said to him, oh, we know her since she was like this. She was in our chalupka, in our orphanage. And so finally, we left the place. And when we came out, she said, Martha said to me, my knees are buckling. My too was shaking to the core. We came back with the good news to Rafayova that everything is all right. That must have been already like in March, and in April we were liberated, and still so much.
We'll continue on the next tape.
Okay.
Do you want with Mrs. Carol Katz? My name is Lucy Samarodin. I'm the interviewer. Mrs. Katz, we were talking about you returning from the police station at Staratora. What happened next?
As I mentioned in the morning, my chore was to wash the diapers and just take care of my baby. And I came out from the laundry room. I saw a German soldier. I didn't know what the insignia meant. I saw him walking straight towards us. And he came in. I put on quickly my kerchief. And he addressed me in German, and I pretended not to know a word German. And I motioned to him to go upstairs. And he went upstairs, and his petition was that they're looking for rooms. They heard that there is he was looking into every room to see if it's really occupied. So he came into one room, and he said he wants that room. That room was, the wall was the common wall between me sleeping in one room and they would be in the other room. And she told him, no, we need it for ourselves. So he went back with that message. But about 2 weeks later, I was still in the laundry room, and somebody else came, an Unteroffizier, what do you say it in English?
An officer.
Officer, German officer, with the sheriff of Staratura, and he said he has information that there is a room that a former Czech colonel